So first of all, thank you so much for giving me this platform, because this platform, according to me, is basically a neglected platform. A bit neglected because everybody expect miracles, magic in homeopathy. We want to do something or this or that, but we don't want to write or we don't want to publish. So what example I give to the people, when I start this presentation, imagine if the Hahnemann would not have published the case records or the letters or the short communications or the books, what would have been the fate of homeopathy today? This is the strongest example and message which I can quote, because since Hahnemann published things, we are quoting those things and we are, making use of those things in today's life. We still quote that, okay, fine, this was written there 200 years back. 2 days back, I was taking a class of organon of second year. I'm a guest faculty in a college. So nowadays we all take classes through Zoom and Skype. And the exact definition of pandemic, epidemic, sporadic was written in that aphorism, which is typical of COVID today. COVID-19, we are reading the social distancing we should maintain, and how it from sporadic, how it became epidemic. So all these things were written as it is. You read aphorism 72 to 74, you'll come to know that all these things are written. What if those would not have been written there at that point in time? So the power of writing always comes when it is quoted, when it is quoted for the educational purposes, research purposes. Nowadays, we are not being allowed to see a single patient of COVID-19 because it's a notifiable disease. It has certain ethical issues. It has certain political issues. It has certain international issues, all sorts of things. Why? Because we still lack in research and we still lack in reported data. That reported data is still not there, which we can quote, okay, fine, we are the practitioners of the healing art and we have so much research studies are there, but when you compare the studies with the science, with the magnitude of the science, with the magnitude of the public health system, that becomes shorter. Suppose our public health system is too huge, 4 or 5 or 6 or 100 studies won't suffice the purpose. We would have to publish more studies, meta-analysis. But obviously, today we are not going to go into the depth of those meta-analysis, studies, this and that. We'll be confining to the basic need of homeopathy in today's scenario, that is popular writing. Why? Well, let's learn. I think most of the people have joined, so I'm just starting, and I'll be allowing some people to pop in when the request come. So popular and academic writing in homeopathy. What is so popular? Popular and academic. These two words will be concentrating in today's lecture. And this popular word is actually a popular word. How? Let's see. Now, publications are good to read. They're difficult to understand. And they're hard to be written. I can vouch that if I give you a very good article today, we would like to read that article. Every one of us would read that article, that paper clipping, that news somewhere published of interest because it is related to homeopathy in current situation, because they're good to read. But majority of us, it would be little difficult to understand. Okay, fine, people have written according to their bent of mind, according to their level of education, according to certain other things. But it is hard to be written. If I request everyone to write one article in 1 year, it would be very hard. I'll give an example. For example, if we say that we are 350,000 registered homeopaths in India, that is the official figure we all get. Okay. For example, half of us, we agree to a point that we will write one case report once a year. How many case report would be there? Roughly 1,75,000 case reports. For example, being an editor, I reject half of the case records. So roughly, I would be having 85,000 case reports in a single year from India only. If I still reject half of them, okay, fine, I don't want to publish the non-evidence based cases and this and that, only single case record I'm talking. In the end, I should be having 40,000 case records every year being published in the journals. And imagine down the line, after 5 years, even if we start publishing one case in 2 years, the scientific data would be flooded. Things would be easier. People can quote, okay, fine, these cases, they've been published in homeopathy. Go and read that, go and quote that. So again, the publications are good to read. They are difficult to understand, but they're hard to be written. True. It's a truth. It's a bitter truth. Now, why writing and why popular writing? This why is basically the base point. Why we should write, why we should publish, why we should discuss. We are discussing today because we want to share certain knowledge, some knowledge with each other. Okay, so we treat, learn, and grow. Majority of us, we are practicing homeopaths. We treat patients, we learn certain new things, and then we start growing with the age of the practice. Okay, fine, my hairs are gray, I'm advancing in age, I'm advancing in experience because I'm learning new things, new combinations, new line of treatment, and I'm growing. My patient database is increasing day by day. Now what amid this, sometimes there is an urge to share our learning, that is experience. We want to, okay, I have treated a case of thyroid, I have treated a case of PCOD. Why not I share it with others? I should. There's an urge. I should post it on social media. I should post it on LinkedIn. I should post it on Instagram, on my stories today, because there is an urge to share that learning. So how we do that? We write, we share, and we post, or we write, we reshare, and we repost. And sometimes we reshare, repost some other cases. For example, if I have published a case, people will be kind enough to share that because the Saurav has written that case. So let us share that case. Let us repost that case because that actually builds up a learning database. That learning database is only gathered when we start sharing our ideas, our experience with the audience. Fine. Now what? And either we conduct research and report, or we report results of the others. There are two things. For example, if I want to write anything, what I'll do, I'll see a case, I'll conduct a research, or I'll do some case studies, case series, and all, and I'll report that. But what if I don't want to conduct that research in my clinic and I want to do something? I'll report the results of the others. That is a review article. Okay, fine. For example, today I decide that what if I report the nature of headache in prominent remedies from different materia medicals. So that would be a review article that, yes, the belladonna headache is given in boric like this, the belladonna headache is given in keynotes like this, the belladonna headache is given in nerve repertory like this. So all these comparative, which we all do. This is not something I'm telling you out of this world. This is something we all do. We do that. We do that review. We do that review for our learning purpose, that yes, this is my learning. Or we write popular articles. Now again and again, I'm quoting the term, what is popular article. So I do that, or I read popular article. Okay, fine. So either I conduct research, or I write a review article, or I write a popular article, or I read that popular article. Now, there's a difference between academic and popular writing. The article written by you and the article written by a scientist. There is a difference. There is a vast difference. The article written by a teacher on a post of academic teacher and HOD, and article written by a clinician, there's a difference. He must have seen hundreds of cases of PCOD in 1 month because he is heading that project. I might be seeing only one PCOD patient in a month because I'm running my own clinic. But this does not mean academic writing is non-popular. And seldom we try to separate them and use them according to their importance. How? Let's see. Now, is it tough to write a popular article? Yes, it is. No, it's not. It is very diplomatic answer. The one who knows how to write a popular article, yes, it is very easy for them. But one who doesn't know what is popular article, it is not. It is very easy. Basically, it depends on your education and your outlook. Now, what is exactly a popular article? This is the difference. The popular writings are easy to difficult piece of writings. For example, a magazine article you write in your souvenir. For example, you're having a conference, a CME, and you decided to write one article in that same, and we invite articles from the speakers. Okay, fine, sir, you're requested to submit one article for our souvenir, and you are requested to submit one article for our conference proceedings. You're requested to submit one article for this. Sometimes these articles are very nicely written articles, but sometimes they are not. Sometimes people just copy paste from Wikipedia, make 4 paragraphs and submit to your conference proceeding. Okay, so their level of writing is easy to difficult, but an academic writing is easy, difficult to tough. Just imagining writing a scientific article. At this point of time, majority of us won't be able to write that scientific article because it is reviewed fully, and the popular writing is not reviewed fully. It is reviewed partially. For example, you are having a team of editors. I submit article to your team, and your team says, okay, fine, this article is from Saurav, publish it. But what if my writing is subjected to opinions of others? That there the academic writing becomes little tough. So the popular writing may be referred to any article of interest to the readers. Any article. I hope many of you would be getting Vital Informer. That Vital Informer articles are popular articles because they are written out of interest to the readers. But academic writing is something which refers to work or result. You should have seen patient, you should have conducted research, you should have reviewed the article, you should have collected the data for the review articles. The experiment, that is academic writing. The popular writing is structured, or maybe a journal article, but academic writings are usually structured. The popular articles are published in a self-hosted or hosted journals, magazines, website, newsletter, newspapers, etc. But the academic writings are usually published in a peer-reviewed or a reviewed work. The intended reader is not an expert in the popular writing, but in academic writing, the intended reader is an expert. How we'll simplify. So now the simplification comes. What is popular writing? The popular writing is, it may be a blog, it may be a social media post with an ST terms and condition. What? We're going to discuss that. An e-newsletter article, a journal article, a newsletter column, a magazine article. Today, I quote that I have 45 plus publications on my name. How? Because I've published them. Majority of them are popular writings. Some of them are peer-reviewed articles. I think I wrote some 8 or 10 editorials and 10 to 11, maybe one in submission, 12 peer-reviewed publications I have right now. Rest of them are popular articles published in such journals, blogs, magazines, conference proceedings. So this is the advantage. You can always quote, and that quote adds up to your credibility. The scientific credibility. Even if you submit one paper today to the extramural research scheme of Ayush, many of the people, they keep on trying to fetch the grant for research. You know, the first thing what they see, how many publications you have on your name. And this is a fact. Even if you have popular articles on your name, that counts to the credibility of your profile, that you have done something and you have shared that something with the profession in the form of an article, a magazine article, a social media post, a blog, a newsletter article, a journal article, newsletter column. Many of us, we keep on writing the newsletter columns. That is also good because that is giving popularity to the science as well as you. Okay. Now let us move further. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to simplify things for the attendees today, that what are the writing platforms? We know what is popular writing now. And now let us give them an option how they can write something somewhere. So all these are writing platforms. They are online platform. For example, e-media, blogs. People usually ask, I write blogs. I'm a blogger. What is that blog? That blog is a regularly updated website or a web page, typically one run by an individual or a small group, that is written in an informal or conversational style, that is discussion, information, and news. So it may be self-hosted or it may be hosted on the other platform. For example, this is my website, researchinhomeopathy.org. So I'm having a blog section where I write news or updates, or when a research update is comes. So that is a blog entry. That is a piece of writing I write for this website. But that may be hosted on some other website also. For example, I am writing on behalf of someone other. So that may be, that writing platform can be your own website, your own blogs, or someone other blogs. Moving further, the blogs are easier to set and even more easier to run. The famous blogging engines include, people usually ask key, where to publish. Okay, fine. I have the content. Where to publish? Should I post it on Facebook? I'll come to that point also. But these are typically the famous blogging engines. That is WordPress, Tumblr, Drupal, Joomla. All these, they come under content management system. They can be self-hosted as well as hosted. For example, you go to wordpress.com, you can start your blogs for free. You don't need any technical information, or you don't need any other information. Just you should have one email ID and a password, and you could right away start your blogs on wordpress.com. But if you want to host them on your website, for example, on if you go to saurav.com, so I'm using the WordPress engine hosted on my website. So I have complete control over the system, on the blogs, on the writing, on the articles. But on WordPress.com, I can go, for example, I started one blog long back, maybe 10 years back, cinconabag.wordpress.com. So that was one of the initial blogs I used to write, cinconabag.wordpress.com. That was, I started that. So basically, if we want to write, there are platforms to be written. The first thing is we should be interested to write. We should be interested to share our things. Next, we'll move to further slides. For example, homeobook. We all know homeobook. H-pathy. We all know H-pathy. And few of us may be knowing all these, like these three are my website, Vivid Homeopathy, the Initiative to Promote Research, and Odyssepair, odyssepair.in. So few of you might be knowing all these things which I run. So all these are content management system, the hosted sites where one can write blogs. I'll move forward further. So the writing platforms further can be defined as newsletter. It is very easy. You submit your paper to Vital Informer. Sooner or later, it would be published. It would go to thousands of people, those who are reading Vital Informer, and they will read and appreciate your work. They will read, okay, fine, Dr. Such and such has written this article. This is a good piece of article. This is nice article. This is nice case. E-newsletter, online newsletter, for example, H-pathy, we just discussed. Magazines, VGen magazine, Heritage, and the journals, which may be peer-reviewed and non-peer-reviewed. They can be online and print. For example, the Indian Journal for Research in Homeopathy. Oh, examples came. The Vital Informer, National Journal of Homeopathy, the Homeopathic Heritage, Hanuman Ki Awaz. All these are examples that people have set in, and these are not harder to approach. My point is the hardship. People sometimes they want to write, but they don't know where to submit it. All these content management system, they are into our purview only. We can send them, and we can get the articles published. It is not that difficult. It is, if you remember the table I discussed, that it is easy to difficult. You just need a good writing sent to them. Surely it will get published. Writing apps. Now this is something people ask. What writing app should I use to write an article, or should I use to uh, format it? For example, Zoho Writer, Pro Writing Aid, Scriber, Google Keep, Evernote, YWriter, Fade in, LibreOffice, Writer, AP Style Book. All these are writing apps which one can use. The technicality level is moderate to high. For example, many of us we use Evernote. Evernote is bit easy. Google Keep is very easy. You can start writing whatever comes to your mind, start writing straight above from your phone, keep saving it and keep editing it later. Because if you write on a piece of paper, that piece of paper is in your clinic. So when you go to clinic only, then you will write. Or if that diary is kept in your bag, when the bag is with you, only when you will write. But if you have all like few of the apps in your phone and you want to write something, okay, fine, today I'm just trying to write a review on something, or material medical update or something like that, I'll start using that straight away from my phone. Okay, so all these writing apps, they actually help me to passionately follow that writing. Okay, moving further, very important and very challenging thing, posting versus publishing. Is there any difference? Yes, it is. The question is open to audience. Is posting as equal to publishing? I'll take a quick sip break.
Publishing will be it will get published only after review of an expert of the subject, particular subject.
So your voice is little low.
Yeah, publishing is done only some experts in that particular subject will
Yes, sir.
review it, and if they agree, then it will get published.
Okay,
Postings we
perfect.
can do on our own
Yes, exactly, exactly. Right, very right.
without any censor. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Now this is why I took this challenging question, because majority of the budding homeopaths, they consider posting as publishing, which is very wrong, which is actually the breach of data. Your one article which you can write to a journal, which you can get it published in a journal, you just waste that article just posting it on social media. One of my article that was on endometrial polyp, I got it published in American Journal of Homeopathic Medicine in 2010. It is still quoted today. It is still quoted. Why? Because we don't have much database on endometrial polyp and homeopathy, the documented data. We may be treating hundreds of cases in our lifetime of endometrial polyp with homeopathy, but if you go to Google search on PubMed, search here and there, I'm sure we don't have that quoted references of use of homeopathy in endometrial polyp. One more example I'll give. We all quote 2010 article of nanoparticles by Dr. Professor Jayesh Ballare, the nanoparticle articles. 2010, Dr. Ballare et al. We all have quoted this piece of paper in our lifetime. We showed the world, yes, this is the article we know because it's a peer reviewed article. It's not just a posting, it's not just a thought, it's a peer review article. It shows that homeopathy has nanoparticles. Whether we understand it or not, whether we understand the methodology, how they did the research studies, what kind of instrumentation they use, what kind of experimentation were there, we don't know. But we know one thing, that homeopathy is equal to nanoparticle, and that is published by Dr. Ballare in 2010. Now see, this is the power of publishing. Still it is quoted, and it will be quoted for lifetime. Moving further, write a note and post it on social media network. It is not considered publishing, it is just posting. And majority of us, we keep wasting our talent, time, and piece of information because we keep on posting without knowing the fact that this small post can be a publishing. This small post can be piece of publishing. Okay, now let's move further. We'll discuss more elaborately later. Now coming to the academic writing. Now academic writing, yes, it is considered and valued more popular than popular writing. It is understood that although it is difficult, its value is more in scientific community. It always follows a methodology. I just gave an example of the nanoparticle article because that's an academic writing, and because this is academic, this is scientific, this has more value, it would always be quoted more. You know, we still quote certain old studies from 70s, 80s, and 90s. If I ask any budding homeopath how many cases you see in your OPD, sir, I see 300 patients a day. The OPD is full every day. Or in our clinics, even we see 20 patients a day. Collectively, 600 patients in a month. Collectively, 7,200 patients in a year. Even if the half of the patients are follow up, still we are seeing 3,000 new patients in a year. Or maybe least to least we are seeing 1,500 new patients in a year. Can't we convert that patient thing into writing? Let's see. Let's move forward. So, writing platform for academic writing. Unlike popular writing, the academic writing platforms are elite and limited. Whenever we need to write and publish academic writing articles, we need to keep in mind our base work. Whether we are going to present the literary review, the case records, the clinical research, the surveys, or the type of research we have undertaken. So their writing platform is elite and limited. This does not mean that we as clinicians cannot write academic articles. This is a misconception. Couple of years back, I had a workshop in Baroda, and my topic was research in homeopathy. Where is my cup of tea? Because people usually ask, okay, sir, I'm intern. How can I write academic article? Okay, sir, I am a clinician. How can I write an academic article? Okay, sir, I am a MD. How can I write? Sir, I am a only practicing physician. I don't have access to the consent forms, to the uh, patient database, or to the complex of the machines, this and that. How can I write an academic article? Every one of us can contribute in certain or the other way in the academic writing, and that is a fact. So the presentation of data in academic writing is follows a scientific methodology, that is IMRAD. IMRAD is basically introduction, material methods, results, analysis, and discussion. So introduction, material method, result, analysis, discussion. Now, giving you a simple example, a patient comes to our clinic. Okay, the patient comes. The first thing what we do, we ask patient, okay, sir, what is your name? Okay, my name is this. Your age, your occupation. We all take case. That case taking performer, we all are by heart what we do. Then what we do after taking a case, we choose a remedy. Okay, this is the logical thing, that okay, a case comes to you. After seeing all the details, we choose a remedy. And after that remedy, we ask the patient to come for a follow-up. And when the patient comes for a follow-up, we note down the symptoms and signs, which symptom they improved, which didn't improve. And after a couple of weeks or months or hours or days, the patient has an outcome that the patient was cured. And we claim that, okay, I cured one case of hypothyroidism. And then I tell everybody that, okay, fine, a case came to me that was a very hard case. I gave this. For example, 2 days back when Dr. Muktinder sir was presenting his case, so it was his success story that we all learned from. Don't you think we are following the same Imrad fashion? The introduction is case taking, the material method is choosing a remedy, the result is patient's outcome, analysis is your learning for the lifetime, and discussion when I present that case with everyone. Don't you think this is the same Imrad I'm following right away in my clinic? Yes, it is. Knowingly or unknowingly, we all follow that scientific methodology. The Hahnemann followed that. Imagine if Hahnemann would have experimented haphazardly. Okay, fine, I'll experiment this today, experiment that tomorrow. I'll write this chronic disease today, materia medica tomorrow. The things would be haphazard. So what he did, he followed the methodology. He introduced the homeopathy. He experimented, collected information that was material methods. He collated the results at one place. He analyzed those results at one place, and then he put that into discussion in his writings. That is Imrad we are following since inception of homeopathy. And people say we are not scientific. And the scientific community says, homeopathy, there is nothing in it. No, we are following the same, but we have forgotten to term that. We have forgotten to convert that into today's language. Moving further, the data should be, the piece of writing should be thoroughly written and processed data. That is the statistical review. How many cases they improved, how many they didn't improve, what was the outcome of the measure, will do that. And choosing an appropriate journal, in which journal I should submit. Now, few biomedical journals I would like to quote. The homeopathy, that is the formerly the British Homeopathic Journal, the International Journal for High Dilution Research. This second journal, which I am telling you, I'm a bit biased for this journal. This is homeopathy's first open access journal, which is published from Brazil. That is the homeopathy's first open access journal since 96. And I was the editor-in-chief of this journal for 2.5 years. And probably I was the first Indian and the youngest homeopath to hold this position for 2.5 years. So this journal, you can go to the website, that is highdilution.org. I'll just write here. It is highdilution.org. Every article is free. Download it, read it, quote it, it is your wish. So I served the editor-in-chief for a couple of years, and I know the methodology they're following. And then the Indian Journal for Research in Homeopathy, IJRH. Go to ijrh.org. This is CCRH journal. This is also free. ijrh.org. This is also free. All the articles are free. Go download, quote, do whatever you want to. Then complementary therapies in medicine, Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine, homeolinks. All these are examples of the biomedical journal. There are n number of articles. You just drop an email to me. I'll send you the whole list. That these are the biomedical journals we would like to quote and submit. For example, your case report. Why not to submit that in homeolinks? Homeolink does publish case reports. Submit that to IJRH. Yes, it's a good option. If you have a review article, submit to homeopathy. If you have a research article, submit to high dilution research. Moving further, now the peer review process. This is one thing which I think every one of us asks at certain or the other time. What is peer review and what is peer reviewed journal? Now, this is basically a commonest question from the youngsters. So, what is peer review journal? My this MD guys, the HODs, they are saying publish your work in a peer-reviewed journal. So peer-reviewed journal, it is perhaps the most common concerns of the budding writers. The peer review process as such and why peer-reviewed journal. Now I'll simplify the things. The peer review process is the process of subjecting an author's scholarly work, research, or ideas to the scrutiny of the subject expert. For example, if I am the editor of High Dilution Research today, if you send me an article, I will get it checked from 3 or 5 different experts just to know whether you are doing the right thing or the wrong. For example, any research study, any idea, any piece of work. So whether that piece of work is actually acceptable to the experts, that is peer review process. And this process is lengthy. That is why the scholarly written articles or the academic articles, they take months to get published. But once they are published, they are quoted for the lifetime. We, like I was part of a research project in hypothyroidism. That is the world's biggest study on subclinical hypothyroidism that was undertaken at Beersur Medical College and with Institute of Nuclear Medicine. That paper is still quoted. It was published in 2011. Still, no such study has come. Despite the study was published, started in 2008, despite after 12 years, no such studies in homeopathy has been taken so far. Now, this is the power of academic writing. Still, that article is quoted that a study on subclinical hypothyroidism was undertaken in Delhi on 194 school children from age 6 to 18, and they were put on either placebo or constitutional treatment. Now you can imagine the volume of the work and the volume of quoting. Now that is scholarly article. Now this process aims to testify your work on scientific, academic, and publishing grounds. Unfortunately, we don't want to get testified. We all are afraid of being rejected because some or the other time, if we have sent an article to a journal, there is a possibility that it might be rejected or might have got rejected. So there's a like, okay, fine, why to submit? It is going to reject. My English is not that strong. My writing is not that strong. My way of reproducing the evidence is not that strong. So why should I publish? Why should I submit? I don't want to be testified, but no, this testification improves your quality of writing. The writing which I used to write 10 years back, it is not the same I'm writing today. Now I can confidently write at least something. I'm not an expert, but at least I can write something very nicely because I know how to write them. If you go to my website, there's a small performer. There's a format for undertaking clinical research. You download that performer, all the headings are there. You start completing heading, you can undertake clinical research in your clinics because that format helps you to write that. So I developed that format just to ease out people's curiosity of writing a clinical trial, how to write a clinical trial in homeopathy, because we were subjected to review process. We were rejected also. Now I was telling Dr. Harsha that day that everyone talks of success stories, but I would I am the person, I would like to quote my failure stories also. I started one journal, that is Journal of Case Studies in Homeopathy, JCSH, Journal of Case Studies in Homeopathy. Way back, I started that journal. That was a peer-reviewed journal, the first journal in homeopathy dedicated for case studies only. For 2.5 years, I ran that journal. Dr. Andre Sen published first paper in the first issue. That was on depotency, I still remember. But eventually, I had to shut it down because I didn't get the good quality case records. And I did not want to publish each and every case record. No. So eventually, that was a failure story. But that failure story taught me something, taught me the process. I spent time, energy, money, making that. into shape. But eventually what happened? Okay, fine, it's okay. There's no problem. We all learn by mistakes also. We all learn by failures also. So coming back to the peer review process is a hallmark of authenticity. Thus, journals have an impact on the scientific fraternity that is calculated separately as impact factor. Many of you might be knowing the impact factor. People ask, what is impact factor of your journal? Unfortunately, no Indian journal, homeopathic journal, no Indian homeopathic journal has got impact factor as of now. It will take some time for even IJRH to get the impact factor. Only homeopathy has an impact factor, but that is not too high. Now what? Okay, fine. Now we know the the popular writing. Now we know the academic writing. Now we know the basic difference and the differentiation of popular and academic writing. Now we know the platforms and apps to be used for writing well. Now we know where to submit our article, popular article, magazines, blogs, e-journals, e-magazines. Now what? Pick an idea. Idea is very important. Do some homework. The actual data collection or the fact collection. See, it is not always necessary that I should see cases and I can write an article. I can write a review article. I can collect 10 papers published on PCOD and I can write a review article on those 10 papers. That is fact collection. That is just writing a news, but the only difference is that it will get published in an academic journal. Get it printed and published, then post it on an appropriate channel. Don't post it beforehand because it will ruin your data in the public domain. And yes, congratulations. Now it is considered a publication. Okay. One example. Me and my wife, Dr. Bharti, she's in a group. We started this venture, Public Health and Homeopathy Awareness Series, PHHA. We decided that we'll write some articles which are of importance to the public health and homeopathy. And these are open access article. Anyone can read, even your patients can read, your practitioners can read, anyone can read. So we started this series of article under Vivid Homeopathy, which I run. That Down syndrome, you can see air pollution, do's and don'ts, and many other articles. They are still published and it is available on the website. So this was basically creating a platform for writing a popular article which has a public health value. For example, if people say, what is the role of homeopathy in Down syndrome? So this Down syndrome article and list all the things which one needs to know about the Down syndrome and all homeopathic aspects of dealing that Down syndrome, the probability, the possibility, the management which we can use in homeopathy. For example, we publish on diabetes, on PCOD. So all these articles, they were actually in the public domain for the benefit of the public health and homeopathy awareness. You go and read that. So this was basically creating a niche for popular article writing. Now, idea, planning, strategy, and success. We all have idea. We all have a planning how to set up a clinic, how to clear off BHMS, how to do this, how to do that. We all are expert. We all have ideas. Success depends on your luck and depends on your hard work. But this strategy part, we are lacking this strategy part. And this strategy part only comes when we have certain criteria. What? We'll learn that. These are the 4 domains which are needed to practice as well as publishing anything. Even in practicing your baseline teaching, what your teachers taught to you. I still remember many of the symptoms, they're not in Materia Medica, but our teacher taught, okay, fine, do this, do that. In Materia Medica, you have all these things. So that baseline teaching is always, basically, it is creating a base. Your mind is stuck with that because my teacher taught me this. And then comes experience. You start seeing patient, you start reading books, you start interacting with each other. Then comes experimentation. Okay, fine, yesterday or the day before yesterday, Dr. Muktinder Singh gave this remedy to such kind of patient. I will do that. I will experiment. And eventually after 10 to 15 years of your practice, you'll start developing that intuition. That intuition, okay, fine, this type of patient, if they comes to me, I'll do this. Again, this, convert this into publishing. Write an article depending on your baseline teaching. Incorporate that experience with it. Incorporate that experimentation in it. And propose what better we can do. Yes, we can do better. Now the challenge is, it is very good. The presentation is very motivating. But yes, let us not forget the challenges. Challenges is lack of guidance. Nobody tells us to write or publish. Even at the postgraduate level, because nobody's interested. Lack of momentum, lack of time, lack of knowledge. All these are challenges. Imagine the first thing I said, if Hahnemann would not have published his writings, we could not be quoting things today. And this is true for tomorrow. If we don't publish today, the coming generation will not have anything to quote from today. So that guidance is important, that momentum is important, that time is important. It is not that difficult time. Why? Because this is a journey from publication to observation and observation to publication. Don't even think this is homeopathy. From a mere observation, from a mere observation of the Sincona bark, the Hahnemann went to a publication, books, writings, letters. This was his academic journey. From his publication, we are using that into practice and we are observing some things. So this is a biphasic journey. Our publication, our writing will be observation for others. Others' observation can be a source of idea for us to publish something. No, way out. Be truthful. Truthful what we can write and we can't. I can't write a scientific article today because I'm not working in a lab. I can write a review article, but I cannot write an experimental article on nanotechnology and nanoparticles because I'm not in that team. But what I can write, I can collate different papers of nanoparticles at one place and I can write. I can collate different articles on the types of headaches and their presentation in Materia Medica. Yes, that can be a paper. Ghostwriting must not be practiced. Don't write for others. Don't let others write for you. Write yourself and update yourself with the tools, technique, and technology. In this COVID situation, I was discussing with Dr. Harshad that day. In this COVID situation, we all have started using Zoom. Many of us would not have heard of Zoom 3 months, 4 months back. But nowadays, Skype, Zoom, GoToMeeting, Click Meeting, and number of things you ask me. Because we are being updated because that's a need of ours. That is the technology, the technique we are using. Now we are discussing today to enhance knowledge. This is because of the tools we are using today. Because the best part of writing is challenge. If you feel challenge, you will write. If you don't feel challenge, it's okay. Do practice and do nothing. That's your wish. Read and read because reading gives us peace of mind and a piece of idea too. Sometimes while reading, we can, okay, fine, I can write a piece of article, a piece of blog on this. You go to my website, saurav.com, I keep on writing the Materia Medica updates, comparative Materia Medica. So I don't need any separate motivation or something. No, I just need a click, an idea, a remedy. I'll write that. This popular writing presentation, this came out of curiosity. I first gave this presentation to MD students in Baxton College. So this came because I found that there is no presentation, such presentation on how to write paper, what is the difference of popular writing and academic writing. People, they keep on saying, okay, write popular article, write articles, but what kind of articles you expect us to write? Okay, pick an idea which is of interest to public or which is the need of hour. common ideas, they don't have any place in the science. Pick an idea which is of interest. Flu like illness, nowadays it is of interest to people. Dedicate a part of your practice to writing, even if you write once a month, even if you write once a week, even if you write once in a year. Dedicate a part of it. Just start writing, just start, take a pen, whatever the English I'm having, whatever the uh, composition I'm having, just write rough, write. I'll show you my rough writings, all blurred, all absurd, but at the end I know what points I can take out. This is writing comparative mathematica. Just start off, just think of writing comparative mathematica. You'll love it. Choose an appropriate platform for publication, that is the e-platform or the print or both, because my way or highway, you have to work it either way. We cannot stay stagnation. See, this thing nowadays, it is of interest. Tomorrow, it would be a necessity. Tomorrow, it would be a necessity to have research and publications in homeopathy. Otherwise, homeopathy will not survive for long. Be open for collaborations and teamwork. It is not always one work. If you want to write articles with some other people, go ahead. This is how we learn and grow, and we gather that expertise. See, if I don't know how to statistically analyze my data, I should pool a statistician into my team. I should contact that statistician. They can be hired, they can be requested. You give them the data and get it reviewed, and then you can publish that data. That is allowed. This is how we can write an article. Yes, expose yourself to basic statistics. It is all a game. Don't forget to popularize your work on social media platforms, but be aware from too much self-proclamation. Publish a work and then post or repost. And don't be afraid to give a proper citation and source of information, because we are not here to invent the information. We are here to discover and spread it for a cause. Hahnemann did not invent homeopathy, he discovered homeopathy. He did not invent the miasms, he discovered the miasm. But yes, he invented the potentization process. That was a part of his experimentation. But majority of his experiment were the discovery of the science. In nutshell, practice with patience, because this patience is the keyword for the development and growth of our skills. Practice with a difference. This difference can be published. Routine patients are not to be published. They will not get published anywhere. But if you write, if you practice with the difference, that difference is published. Practice with the validated evidences. Maybe quality of life score. We all do that. And let these differences and evidences be published. Don't hesitate to even report the negative results, because these negative results, they are basically a source of information, motivation, and the lose points. Follow bioethics, do no harm, and report no tall claims. Follow the guidelines, because guidelines makes the writing little easier. It is just like your teacher has taught you the case taking and case handling process, the analysis evaluation, that is a guideline. Today you call any student from second year and ask them to take the case. Okay, fine. Third year, ask them to take the case and prescribe. Will they be able to prescribe? No, because they have not been taught the case taking, analysis, and evaluation. They will only be taking a good case when they will be taught that that is the guideline. So guidelines are easier to follow. Yes, you can do that. Tall claims, they don't have any value. Statement have little value. Okay, fine. If I have published something that has certain statement, recorded statement, they have value. Now these recorded statements are basically publications, and the validated statements are accepted and respected everywhere. Today we want to safeguard ourselves on social media. We are writing to the government of India, we're writing to the Ayush Ministry, we're writing to CCRH. We are only quoting others' work. We are only quoting that such and such scientists published this and this research in that journal. So basically, what we are doing, we are quoting their article, their value, their publications, just to safeguard homeopathy in ourselves. So, in the end, is it tough to write popular article? For me, no, it is not. It is easy. I just need to have an idea, an enthusiasm, and a platform. But for academic writing, yes, I need certain guidance, further piece of information to write an academic article. That too is very easy to write. So with this, I thank you all for your patient listening.